Hello everyone, guys. Good afternoon, guys. Today it's Monday, April 6th, 2026. And today, guys, we're gonna do a really quick discussion um about my train experience, guys, because first of all, guys, I recommend train enthusiasts or any person who goes on the train to not rush when getting on the train because look what happened, guys, a couple months ago. It was last month actually. On March 8th, guys, we were gonna move from one car to another. Um, and then, we had to rush. We had to go quickly, and the door almost closed on us, guys. It was me and my mom, heading to Manhattan, and we were heading to Queens somewhere, and the door was about to close, and then, thankfully, guys, the door opened and then we got on the train safely. But it was scary, guys. It was really scary for me because, you know, we would have been trapped. But, it's very rare. It's very rare in New York City to get trapped um, by the door and be, dragged by the train. It's really rare, guys. Conductors always make sure that, you know, passengers board safely. But, you know, the fear still stays in my mind, guys. I'm trying to manage it, and a lesson that I learned about this fear, guys, is that I don't have to rush, guys, to get on the train, guys, because people might be late for work, and then they they miss the train, and then they start rushing, and you know they don't realize the safety risks. So in in many of the videos that I heard from channels like Moligen 4000 something, whatever channel it is. Um, According to evidence, guys, from many videos that I heard, people are like, "Oh, I gotta rush to catch this train," or "I don't want to miss the train," and then they might not realize that they accidentally, they might miss a step, and who knows, they might fall between the platform and the train. That really, we don't want that to happen. So the key here is mindfulness, guys. So instead of rushing onto the train first and like at least feel the bump on the train, and especially for me, guys, since I'm blind and I don't rely on vision, guys, it's pretty difficult because before I even get on the train, I have to feel the tactile bump, that bumpy thingy that comes right before you get on the train. I have to feel it with my foot and my cane because I use my cane a lot. And then, slowly step in, one foot in first and then the other. But a lot of people, they panic because, it's understandable that, they can, that the train will leave. But, they don't have to rush simply because they have to go to work. It's sometimes what matters is safety. There's a saying, uh, it is important to be safe more than sorry, or something like that. Yeah, be safe more than sorry. You know, guys, a couple weeks ago, guys, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. Um, we were heading up the stairs to get to the platform at Dytman Street subway station, and then the train was just pulling into the platform, and you know my mom was trying to rush me up the stairs and to catch that train, and guess what? I almost missed a step because I thought that um that I was on the train. But guess what? My right foot was still on the platform edge. And then guess what? I got on the train safely. But that mm-mm. you know, I would have fell down and like I would have been my foot would have been trapped between the platform and the train, and that would not been good. So, you know, guys, a recommendation, guys, do not rush, guys. Take your time when getting on the train because, you know, the environment can be really crowded, especially in a busy New York City subway station like Grand Central, 42nd Street. So, um, you know, any station, basically. So, you know, if you miss the train, you can always wait for another train. You know, nothing to do about it. You know, what matters more is safety more than having to go to work. Because, you know, it's understandable that, you know, a boss might yell at you or something like that. But if that happens, you know, simply tell them I was late because of a transportation issue. Or or maybe just say I was late because I was taking my time and making sure I'm safe. That can be a better, you know, instead of giving excuses. You know, it's really important, guys, to be safe, guys, on the New York City subway. Um, you know, that connects to deeper, you know, safety risks like subway surfing, but that's much later on, and that's another topic. But right now, I'm currently talking about, you know, how people tend to rush to get on the train, and you know, worried that they're gonna miss the train, and then you know, it takes risks. It increases the risk of like tripping on someone or being, you know, or accidentally missing the step or your foot getting stuck, you know. Yeah, guys. So, you know, it's a little bit complex, guys, especially for me because you know, I don't rely on vision, guys, the way you guys do. You guys might just simply rush to the train and then, you know. But still, guys, no matter if you have vision or not, it's still important to take your time. And even if you miss the train, you can always wait for another one. The trains come like every 5 or 10 minutes in New York. You know, it doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter if if you miss a train. You know, you can always try it. There's always another chance to try again. So yeah, guys, that's all I had to say, guys. That was a quick, you know, recommendation and stuff. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and if you did, you know, I recommend you guys pressing the subscribe button and the like and turning on the notifications so that you can get up to date with my latest videos coming up. So, you know, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe on the New York City subway and, you know, take your time. So, goodbye, everyone. Stop recording.